YouTube was good. It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka the Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead. Hit the doggone subscribe button. Hit notification bell every time I post up new content. What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law. Now, y'all know every time that I say that particular phrase, y'all know something that I've actually really found out something that's rather fucked up, right? Or I might say some shit like, now as ridiculous as some things may sound, there comes a time of desperation when no one's looking that you will give the ridiculous a try. Now the only reason why I'm saying that I said those two most famous quotes for some legendary people, there's no one of them is gone home to glory, right? And well, I'm not gonna talk about that, because that man could probably be in the best physical health possible. But in other case, y'all already know if I say one of the two, or if I say both of them, y'all already know it's some serious shit that has happened, and the crazy uncle got to talk about it right fast. So, for those of y'all that actually really celebrated the 4th of July, hey, look, kudos to you, right? Because regardless of what some motherfuckers may say, we were here first, goddammit. Right? And far as I'm concerned, that's all. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I went to the gym and you know, my shoulder is actually really giving me the fucking blues right now. But in either case, right? Let's actually really talk about this shit. I really don't. There's no. It's not gonna be in the. It's not gonna be in the order. But then again, it may or may not be. Right. So here's the deal. I gotta talk about this first because, for the most part, all of this shit happened over the weekend. Some of it I caught yesterday. But I just feel like, look, you know what? Gotta talk about this. So let's talk about prison women, or apparently they finna get out of jail, prison, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? And so now they finna be on the prowl, just like everybody else. But let's actually like really stop and think about this for a minute, right? Is this like the new type of breed of woman that, let's just say that some can actually really look at and be like, you know what? She ain't half bad looking. Yeah, she been in the house for a pretty good time, and considering if you ain't killed nobody, right? But hey, it is what it is. Because here's the deal, and I don't know, it's kind of rough. I ain't gonna say that it's kind of rough to talk about, but the thing about it is this: you almost gotta take you. I mean, like, let's actually really stop and look at the motherfuckers that's already out here that ain't in jail, but 9 times out of 10, considering what the fuck that they do on a daily basis, yeah, put them some bitches up somewhere, and let's say, hey, look, we gonna bring y'all out. We gonna see how y'all do, right? You know, um, I've been the first one to tell you, or I would like to be one of the first one to tell you that, hey, look, everybody, everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody don't quite get it the first time round. And that's with any goddamn thing. Regardless of subject, regardless of situation, everybody fucks up. You know, some of us will actually really fuck up more. What they say that that the severity is levels to this shit. Which this look, we already know this. But just actually, I really just stop and think about this for a minute, right? The passport brothers, to my understanding, you know, that's it still is a success. I mean, now sometimes, motherfuckers actually really get fucked over. But that's neither here nor there. So let's actually really talk about these that for the most part you like to think, okay, these people have been rehabilitated, right? And they want their second shot at society. So I'm just like, okay, well, if they feel like that they're ready, right? Then hey, okay, you go get your camera, whatever the fuck, which I really didn't think that you can have shit like that in prison. But hey, it is what it is, and then if that's not the case, then all of the guards and well, I'm not gonna say, well, yeah, let's just, get all the motherfuckers out because they're the ones that's actually really allowing this shit in, right? And it's for the simple fact, okay, human nature takes control. You can only bump a pussy so goddamn much, right? Unless they sneaking in dildos in there. But even then, right? There's nothing better than a motherfucking factory original. And no, I'm not talking about that shit that you go buy at the motherfucking sex store. Right? Now, a lot of people, basically what's going to happen is this. For the prison women, for the most part, I'm going to have to like put y'all in the same category as if I was still in and I'm actually like was either stationed over in Germany or Korea. I mean, granted the fact I was on my first marriage. So I'm just like, okay, so I couldn't, not to say that that's what the fuck I was trying to do. But let's just say for shits and giggles that, hey, guess what? I'm single. So like if I go over there, if I go to Germany or Korea, whatever, or Japan, right? I meet a nice young lady, blah, 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 blah. We hit that shit off. Then here come all of the paperwork, which for the most part, I'll be motherfucking more than happy to do. So we get married, come back stateside. Then, for the most part, this motherfucker finna get infiltrated by the motherfuckers that's already there. The motherfuckers that really, they are so goddamn miserable, right? That they'll look at you as being happy, right? And then they'll be like, okay, well, he only doing this. He only gonna do this for a short while, blah, 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 blah. And then he already know that you don't know the inside ropes or the outside ropes or the in-between ropes of how this shit go. So yeah, he brought you here, but 9 times out of 10, he finna go out and fuck. Right? This is what the fuck is gonna get infiltrated in her head. And so for the most part, you almost gotta like actually just stop and probably look at the women that's finna come out of prison. right? And then I saw some of the video. They trying to show a little booty and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, hey, how about you just wait? Don't. To be perfectly honest, they already acting that damn way. They already, for the most part, they're already getting infiltrated. They were just like, hey, if I show some booty, then somebody come here, blah 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 blah, or whatever. But my whole deal is this: if you ain't finna get out within the next couple of months, then why the fuck you even posting? You know, I mean, I get it. Well, ooh, I'll wait for you, but I'm like, no, partner, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go that fucking route, okay? So you really just gonna have to wait and see what happens on this one, because we already know that ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, you already know they ain't gonna, they're not gonna do no shit like this. But then again, if they flip it like how they flip every goddamn thing else, right? Then somebody can actually really be like, hey, look, hey, this ain't a half-ass badass idea. But let's just wait and see what the fuck happens. So, kind of somewhat on the same subject. We all know what happened last weekend or before the 4th of July. P. Diddy, for the most part, he acts like really got away. He acts like really walked, but then the judge is on some other bullshit. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But the thing about it though is this. Now here come the escorts. They talking bad about Cassie. But the thing about it though is this. I told y'all that a month ago. More than a month ago. This motherfucker was actually really enjoying this shit. And then two of them came out. And for the most part, I almost got to say, at least for that one, I really got to look at you. I have to look at you sideways. Because you went in raw, motherfucker. You said this bitch gave you an STD. Right? In which, for the most part, this goes back to old boy. The motherfucker that she didn't marry. So for the most part, you gotta look at this shit and be like, well, goddamn, Cassie Ventura, right? If there was ever an award for worn out pussy, and you ain't even 40 years old, yeah, go get that trophy to her. I mean, because if it's a lie that they told, these escorts, they're actually really telling it now. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, people get scared, people fear for their life or whatever. But but if you actually really stop and think about this for a minute, let's basically what happened to this one guy, right? It almost seems like it. Okay, now motherfucker, you trying to get into Hollywood. So you come in, you ain't put like this. You come in, you ain't got no money. You don't look all that damn well, according to your own motherfucking testimony. All what the fuck you had to do was just be good in bed. But you didn't wrap up, dog. So the crazy uncle. I'm looking at you rather fucked up. Why would you run into something? Why would you run into something wrong, especially if you don't know what the fuck it is? So again, then he was just talking about like, well, he wanted to do it before the actual trial. Then his lawyer said, no, let's not do that right now. Like, no, partner, how about you like let me do this now or whatever? But see, here's the deal. They was acting like really, well, we already knew what the fuck they was trying to do. They were trying to get Diddy, and guess what? This shit didn't happen. So, but now, I'm just like, now, okay, now that that shit is over with, what's your problem now that you can't do it now? I mean, because that bitch married. If, but, and then what my whole deal is, I still got to call bullshit on that. Because here's a guy that's supposed to be a personal trainer. You knew that this motherfucker was out there passing that shit around like you pass motherfucking hors d'oeuvres at a motherfucking party, right? You knew that that shit would go out when you walked down the aisle, and you still did. But again, I'm just like, okay, no. Something is, I get it. What's done is done, right? But if the evidence is still lingering around, meaning a wore out pussy, why? Like, really, where the fuck we going with this? Please tell me what the fuck is going on. And it's almost like, again, these motherfuckers, it's almost like, okay, yeah, we knew it was bullshit. But now that these two then came out, it's almost like, yeah, this confirms it. Right? Because I'm pretty sure all of this shit, these two individuals, right? They was around when the Diddy trial was going on. And to my understanding, yeah, they might have came in and said a few things, in the courtroom or whatever. But, again, right? You could have, with all that shit going on, y'all should have said, okay, hey, look, what the fuck is going on here? What are we actually really trying to get this guy on? And then that what we do have on, how well will it stick? But just like I said, a lot of motherfuckers got their taxpayer dollars on a bullshit trial. The fuck are we doing here, people? And now for the last piece of business. And I called it Black People at the Carnival. Now, great the fact, every black person, so-called African American, so-called woke motherfucker, or whatever the fuck you actually want to call yourself these days. If this ain't now, depending on who you talk to, right? Cause this is like, if this ain't like the motherfucking reverse slavery bullshit, then this is exactly what it is. I'm just like, all these black folk that got on this boat, they partying, they staying up late, waking up other motherfuckers, right? They turning flips and shit, making up all type of noise, and then they get mad when the carnival say, hey, you motherfuckers is a little bit too rowdy. But then again, and then now these motherfuckers, they mad. Cause look at how the fuck you acting on the damn boat. And then 9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna go on there and you're gonna fuck with somebody that you don't need to fuck with. And then there it is. Not, I mean, not these, when I say that, I'm talking about you got old ignorant bastard or ignorant bitch, right? And her ass is all out, and then you minding your business, and then here this bitch come. And then they get mad because you ain't showing her no motherfucking kickback, no response. So now you gotta be whatever the fuck that the hood folk gonna call you. That's what the fuck you gotta be. But I'm almost willing to bet money. See, this is how black folks act. And then, like I say, I done heard all of this shit from what everybody else gotta say. But here's the deal. 9 times out of 10, a lot of those motherfuckers that was on that boat, they had rent that's motherfucking due. Utilities, food, and whatever the fuck else. But what y'all did? Y'all spent y'all motherfucking rent money, utility money, gas money, whatever the fuck, on that goddamn cruise just to act the fucking fool. Well, y'all could have did that same shit on land. So what the fuck? What the fuck, people? I'm just like, what Chris Rock said, I love black people, but I hate niggas. And then every last one of them motherfuckers, not all black folk, but the motherfuckers, y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about here. Y'all some straight motherfucking niggas. And yes, I said it. Y'all some niggas. Typical niggas. Fucked up ass niggas. Irresponsible niggas. Yeah. YouTube, go ahead and blurt this shit out if you want to. Because I'm just actually really putting it out there. It's already bad enough that I really don't like being around a whole bunch of people. And for the most part, everybody gonna act like that they got some damn sense. But I'll be damned if I get on a motherfucking boat and I gotta deal with this shit for the next however long that I'm gonna be on the boat for. Can't do it, people. And then just like for the simple fact, I can't swim no goddamn way. So it ain't like that. I can't jump off the boat because I can't swim. So for the most part, I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna get on the boat. Not to say that I'm a motherfucker to have flashbacks because all of my people were already here. We were already here. So, for the most part, y'all can actually really kick out the motherfucker what I said earlier about the reverse slavery shit. But the thing about it though is this. If them motherfuckers actually really wanted to take y'all back, they could. And it wouldn't be shit that you could do about it, for the most part. All of y'all would have went back over there to the so-called motherland for the shit that y'all want to call the motherland, right? Y'all could have went through there, got your motherfucking bone through your nose, let your hair grow out. You ain't gotta worry about washing because a lot of you motherfuckers don't wash no goddamn way. So you motherfuckers can actually really blend in. But hey, it is what it is. Right? I'm just a crazy uncle. Just put my motherfucking 2 cents in. So hey, so guess what? With that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dad, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa. Motherfucker next door, cross the street, round the corner, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. I'ma holler at y'all.